Let's talk a little bit about the marketing aspect of things, or even just the business side or branding. Where is it you're getting either stuck in a rut or need a little guidance?
I know I shared with you on Instagram. I
Mhm.
was just saying, like, I know sometimes I get distracted by everything that's going on my Instagram, and I'm looking at
Mhm.
everybody else, and I'm feeling like I need to go, like I need to be at a certain speed, and I really have to like tell myself, like, Shyrome, you go at your own, you go at your own pace. You don't, you know,
Mhm.
your mom, you don't know what they're dealing with. You don't know what they have going on. Your mom. So sometimes I have to tell myself that, but then, we get in our own head. And so I decided to, try to, go in and unfollow people. And so yeah, so I did exercise that, and I did hear that from your podcast a while ago, and I just
Yeah.
never got to it. But yeah, so
Again, if we're looking at, like, we only have so much energy and
yeah,
time and resources to give in a day,
yes,
protecting where your head is at is the most important thing you can do.
hmm,
Following a bunch of accounts, I mean, it's interesting if you really get present and intentional about, like, why do I follow these accounts? A lot
yes,
of times it's either I think I want what they have, or they're my competitors, and this justification of, well, I need to know what they're doing.
yeah,
Biggest crock of I won't say it on the podcast. I don't want to put an explicit rating on it, but it's so not helpful. And
yeah,
you guys can all go look. I follow very few Lash accounts, very few,
I
because
did.
I would. Yeah, you should. I practice what I preach, because I used to follow people that I would perceive as competitors, and what it was doing, I didn't recognize this until I had a team. But I'd be like, "Oh, look what they're doing. We should be doing that too." And I'd bring it to my team, but we'd already be on a very specific path that was aligned with the goals I had for the business. And now all of a sudden I'm throwing a wrench in it and upsetting my team who was already on this path, and be like, nope, we're shifting. And it's so not helpful, because no matter who you follow, who you look up to, even if you had their same exact business, you probably wouldn't be happy, because it's not what you chose for you.
Right.
So yeah, unfollowing accounts that don't excite you, entertain you, motivate you, or leave you feeling positive is the biggest waste of time on social media. And this is the difference between utilizing social media for business and using social media as a consumer, right? So if we use it for personal means, it's usually we follow accounts that are friends or family, right? Or sometimes it's exes, like, it's just a whole bunch of, like, a social platform. Whereas when you're on it for business, it has a very, very clear purpose. You are on there to get customers to know you, like you, and trust you. That's it.
Mhm.
Anything else you're doing on the platform at that point is an ineffective use of it.
Right.
And so it really is that transition to using it for socializing and personal use, to using it as a content creator that has a very specific goal with that marketing strategy.
Hmm.
And that really helped me to get clarity, and even to start to outsource and get help with social media, because it was just a formula to follow, rather than me going on there getting my emotional needs met or not met by who I would see or how I would feel, or checking in on my competition or anything. So that's a big game changer. And I'm glad. Have you noticed a difference in how you feel about social media when you aren't following those accounts?
Yes.
What's that
Yes.
been like?
It's actually been like refreshing, because then instead of me looking at them, it's allowing me to use my own creativity, and not,
Mhm.
be looking at them like, oh, maybe I should try that. And it's just like, I have my own creativity. I am creative. I
Mhm.
don't need that.
Mhm.
But just looking at it, like, yeah.
Yeah. The
Mhm.
most common things that happen with business owners, especially in our industry, is like FOMO, the fear
Yeah.
of missing out. Like, oh, she's running a special, or oh, she says she's fully booked, no
Yes.
longer accepting clients. I should do that
Yes.
too. From a business perspective, why would you ever turn away a customer? I'm not saying go beyond your hours, but if you can create that kind of demand, you're the one in charge. You can increase your prices the more demand you have.
Yeah.
So why would you ever stop accepting customers? You just keep increasing your prices so that the cheaper customers go to the cheaper artists, and you scale to be a luxury service provider. But again, we look at what everybody else is doing, assuming they have success, assuming they know what the fuck they're doing. Sorry, there's the explicit rating.
Yeah,
Um,
I realized that. I realized
yeah.
that. Just like, just listening to you, and just taking that in, it's changing my mindset of things. So I'm just like, a lot of lash artists go in and they start looking at what everyone else is doing, and they think that's the way to go. And
Mhm.
it's just like, no, you can actually change it up a little bit. You can actually make it what you want it to be. You don't
Yeah.
have to, and there's ways
Yeah.
around it. It's not what it's not always what you see.
Yeah. So let's go through this example. What is like the number one thing any lash artist wants to be? Like their goal for their business. What is that?
Um,
Starts
maybe
with an F.
I thought it was a trainer, but
After that, you have to get to a certain point with your own business before you move on to other things, right? What is it like the first goal everybody has when they start their business?
fully booked.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Now, let
Okay.
me ask you this. If you're only working 4 days a week, isn't your fully booked different than 5 days a week?
Yes.
Right? So a lot of people want to be fully booked and they look at everybody else who's fully booked, but they
Yes.
don't realize if you only work 3 days a week, 2 hours a day, you can be fully booked within like a month,
Yeah.
right? It's fully booked is so even fully booked, which is the goal that most lash artists have when they start their own business, at least it should be, is so different because they determine success differently.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember the situation. There was when I first started my business, there was a competitor that I followed, and this is where I learned this lesson because it became very toxic for me to follow her. And she would always post screenshots. This was, I think, even before stories on her feed of just how busy she was and like the back-to-back clients and all of that. And I look back on it now, and this was the realization I had then. She was working 12 hours a day, 6.5 days a week. I mean, obviously that last day was 6 hours.
Mm.
So she was working so much.
Oof.
And I looked at my life and my son was, I think, 9 months old at the time. And I'm like, no way. My goal when I got my very first goal was to have one client every day that I worked 4 days a week and that I was done by 5 so I could be home for dinner every single night. That was my non-negotiable in my business. So my business model from the get-go was very different than hers.
Okay.
Because I would have never worked 12 hours a day ever.
Me
Because
neither.
it was part of it. Yeah. And she wasn't a mom, so more power to her. She had the time to work, but I don't want to work to live,
Yeah.
right? Like I want to have a life and build a business around that. That's the beauty of entrepreneurship is that you get to build that and create that around the lifestyle you want.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than my business is going to dictate what my life looks like. That's backwards.
Yes.
Right. And I get when we're in the hustle and we're in the scarcity and we're in the fear of like, I have to pay bills and I got to make this work and hustle, hustle, hustle. This scarcity mindset of if I turn a client away, I'm losing money is the wrong mindset to have. Right. And that's where people add more clients to the day, more days to the week. And then all of a sudden they're like, I have no balance in my life. My kids never see me. My husband never sees me, blah, 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 blah. Right. And they've gotten so far away, but yet they feel now they're stuck to the income level they have. So they feel paralyzed to make decisions because now they're working so much, they can't work more. So their income's capped, but they've built out their lifestyle because they're making good money. Yeah. It's not a fun place to compare to that, although that's what is shown on Instagram. And that's like the carrot we're all chasing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me more about, before we wrap up, any sort of marketing, ways to be efficient with your marketing that would be beneficial to you or things that you want to learn. You talk specifically about social media marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Where is your biggest challenge when it comes to that?
Actually, it would probably be like captions.
Captions. Great.
Yes.
Okay.
Captions.
So what is it you struggle with captions?
I know I'm looking at everyone else and they got these long captions. Some of them are like just random stuff they probably stole from someone else. But
just slide that in there.
I'm just like, I struggle with like captioning. I'm like, I don't know what to tell these people because I know like the caption, the video and the caption will, grab the people. And I just struggle with captions. Sometimes I just post it and I'm just like, I don't know what to put. I'm just put, hey, Lash babes, or I don't know.
Okay, so great. So let's have the conversation about intention in our posting. What is the goal for you when you create a social media post?
To gain a new client or.
Okay. So that is our social media marketing strategy, is to get clients off the platform. Right. Each individual post is not necessarily trying to get a client off of that post.
Right.
there are posts that the call to action, we call that a CTA in the marketing world. The action we want to tell the viewer of that post to take can be book an appointment, and we'll call that a sales post, right? It's directly selling to what we sell, right? We're getting them to try and take the action of becoming a customer. So definitely have those at least. So if you're posting 5 days a week, let's say one post is a selling post. But if you've heard any of my marketing funnel episodes, and this is what we teach on in the Lashpreneur Society very heavily on, is building out your marketing funnel. Social media is in the interest level, it's in the middle of the funnel, and it's where the relationship is built. So really the content you have on your social media is more so for building the relationship and the trust.
Yeah.
Yes, some of it will be selling, trying to get them to your website. That's the bottom part of the funnel that they move into from social media. But social media, really the core purpose is to build that trusting relationship that they want you to be their service provider, because they're going to be, it would be naive to think that they're not considering anybody else. So how can they learn to trust you that you're their go-to person through a platform like Instagram? So tell me some different types of content that might be good ideas that would help build a relationship with someone.
Well, maybe to show my face.
Why is that?
Just so they can, see who they, if they, book, then they can see who they're booking with, who,
they're building a relationship with you.
Yes.
Right? Because if they're comparing Jenny down the street and you,
right,
Jenny can't be you. If Jenny never shows her face, but they all of a sudden know Shyrome, they know her name, they know that she's a mom, they know that she specializes in natural lash health, all of a sudden, whether you and Jenny charge the same or not, they're going to start to prioritize you. And even if you charge a little bit more than Jenny, they're like, I know Shyrome, I don't know Jenny, or
right.
I don't know Fantastic Lashes, the brand, right? It's all of a sudden more of a personalized experience because they're getting to know you and recognize you. You and I have never met before. We've never had a conversation other than through text. Yet you know who I am. You know probably a decent amount about me, right? So it's, you have a relationship with me, and there's trust, inherent trust that's built through that, because I do show up on social media. I do, teach on there. I do educational stuff. I do entertaining stuff. Reels is real easy for that. And I share the bits that about myself that I want to share that I think would be relatable to my ideal client. Right. And so that's where, when we're looking at the marketing funnel as a whole, it's not just Instagram. And if you only focus on Instagram, you'll be fully booked. I think that is a one-trick pony, and I don't think it creates a very stable business model. So I look at the marketing funnel as a whole, and we start off at the very, very bottom of your target market. Who is the type of person that you want in your business? We call that MFC, my most favorite client type inside of the society. But you get clear on the type of person that you want in your business, and that will determine what we do and the marketing content, and even where our marketing is through the rest of the funnel. So the example I usually give for target market is like the Kris Jenner types versus the Kylie Jenner types. They have very different pain points. One wants to look older, one wants to look younger. We speak to them differently. They have different needs, different desired solutions, different results. So it wouldn't make sense for us to try and target both of them, because most people, especially when it comes to luxury services like eyelash extensions, or even optional services, because it's not a necessity as much as we want our clients to think lashes are a necessity, they don't need it to live. And so we want it, most people that are willing to invest or spend more money on a service like eyelash extensions want an expert or want a specialist. They want somebody who knows their pain point and can help them solve it, because eyelash extensions is not the only thing that they've considered. They've probably done strip lashes, volumizing mascara, the TikTok mascara, lash lift and tint. They may have tried a bunch of different other solutions, but they are looking to your services for a very specific solution. So the more specific you can speak to their pain points and how your service is the solution, the more effective your marketing will be.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example that you have been through yourself. You could look to any business coach. Why me?
Because I have a relationship with you.
Okay, so why was I attractive to you as somebody who is trying to build a business or a lash business?
Because you related to me as far as you being a mom, so you understand me.
Yeah.
And just your just your education, trying to help.
Yeah. And
So,
because I target lash artists.
yes, that too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you nailed it on the head. Like the things that I share about myself are relatable,
Yes.
but I can teach anybody business, and I can teach tire salesmen how to run a business. What I teach is business.
Yeah.
When I get specific to an industry and the pain points, you guys, I speak your language. I was a lash artist. I know what you've been through. That
Yeah.
again builds that relationship.
Hmm.
So yes, I could target, and we've kind of experimented with that, like targeting beauty businesses in general, or even beyond that, or women in business.
Hmm.
And my business coach wants me to go that way, but I still feel like there's so much opportunity to serve this niche, because you guys there isn't a whole lot of me out there. And
Hmm.
so that becomes very appealing to you, of like, I could choose a business coach. I could choose a business coach that's right down the street, that's local, that I can meet with in person. I'm all online.
Yeah.
But Tara knows lashes, and she knows lash clients, and she knows lash artists, and she knows lash businesses.
Mhm.
Therefore, my perceived mind is that she's the expert,
Correct.
right? That's what you want to create for your potential customers too. So let's just do this. We'll wrap this up as this kind of last little lesson.
Okay.
Would you rather have maybe the Kris Jenners of the world or the Kylie Jenners? Who is kind of your target client? We'll go with age range.
Kris Jenner.
Kris Jenner, and why is that?
Because I've dealt with, Kylie's. So, and I feel like, I don't know how to, okay. I feel like having, I feel like with the Kris Jenners, I feel like they would, I don't know. I don't know if I should say it, but I guess they would pay more, you know?
They have more disposable income.
Yeah.
Traditionally, that age range has more disposable income. Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Yes.
So why is that beneficial to you as a business owner, that somebody would have more disposable income?
I guess it would just help me it'll help me in my business.
How so?
Because I'll start getting that income.
Your income will be more stable.
Stable income.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't, and I noticed with the Kylies, they, they come when they want, it's just like up and down. It's not consistent.
Yep. Yeah. So when I opened up my lash shop, I was about a block and a half away from one of the biggest universities in San Diego. Mm-hmm. And I thought, this is great. I'll hit up the sororities. Like, I can go hand out flyers on the campus. Like, there's tens of thousands of women with eyeballs that I can have in my business. Mm-hmm. I had 2 college clients within the first week of opening that I had to call at 11 a.m. to wake up because they were late for their appointment. And I was like, screw that. I'm done targeting this audience. Right. And I agree. And for me in my business, what made me unique was that I focused on natural lash health. And I found that the younger clients didn't really care about their natural lashes, and their natural lashes were pretty strong. So they could handle a lot more weights and all of it, more dramatic of a look. And I didn't like that style as much. So I tended to gravitate towards women who were aging, who, as we go through menopause and hormone shifts, like their lashes become more brittle, and they just had more of a glow and a confidence after something as simple as eyelash extensions at that age group than I noticed from the younger clients, who really just wanted it to be, touching their eyebrows and really super dramatic. And that's a generalization for those of you that serve younger clients and their natural lash looks. Like, don't take it personally. Mm-hmm. I just felt that clientele was more rewarding. They were willing to pay more. Most of them had gone to the cheaper places and the franchises and didn't like the experience. And I could give a premium luxury experience and even justify my price point even more, because I was one of the highest priced lash artists in my area. So all of that meant more stability for my business.
Yes.
Right. And those types of clients in my marketing would want somebody who was a natural lash health specialist, because most of my clients had lash damage because they went to the cheaper places or the back of the nail salons and just destroyed their lashes. And when you're a more mature client, your lashes cycle through much slower. So all of a sudden you've got bald spots now on your natural lashes, and you're freaking out that I can't have extensions because it'll destroy what few natural lashes I have left.
Yeah.
And my whole unique selling point was, you can have thriving natural lash health and extensions at the same time.
Yeah.
So both of those things then determined where I marketed, how I marketed, what I said, the types of posts I have, what I wrote in my captions, the images that I used on my website. I wouldn't use the, half naked, Vogue, edgy, black lipstick type photos. I would use photos of women playing with their children or traveling with their husbands, like stuff that my ideal type of client would resonate with more than the standard lash artist photos where they're very magazine editorial style. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So to tie that back to caption writing, let's finish up with just one challenge for you. So the way that I format captions is usually some sort of hook, a headline. You can think about it, just the first thing that they're going to see in that preview, because they'll have to hit see more to read the rest of it. So we got to get them to want to see more. So the whole goal of your hook or your headline is to get them to click that see more. So caption length is discretionary. I recommend testing it out based on your followers, because I like writing longer captions because I like putting more value into my post.
Yeah.
Not everybody reads it. Not everybody likes writing long posts. Me and words are friends, so I like to write. But that hook really is the attention grabber. When you say things like, "Hey Lash Babes," how likely do you think on "Hey Lash Babes" somebody's wanting to read more about what you have to say?
Not likely.
Not likely, because there's no curiosity. It's just a statement.
Yeah.
And somebody who's of an older, more mature clientele, we'll call them,
Yeah.
may not identify even with the word of Lash Babe,
Yeah.
right? And so even that alone, you're alienating or pushing away your ideal type of client that you're trying to attract in.
Yeah.
So I tend to like to go with questions or polarizing statements, but
Okay.
generally questions, because that creates the curiosity for them to hit see more.
Mm.
So even something, and as an example, if we're posting a before and after photo of a client who is a more mature client who had a really beautiful transformation, it's a very natural look, but her eyes just pop. You could say something even cute and catchy of like, "Want to know what's cheaper than Botox?" Right? And they're going to want to know,
Yeah.
right? Because that audience is very familiar with Botox or doing sort of treatments to try and look more youthful. Click see more, and you can say eyelash extensions are far less expensive and get you a youthful glow, blah 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 blah, right? And that's all it has to be. But it's coming up with the hook, 1 to 3 kind of teaching points, educational things, and then coming up with your call to action. Every single post needs to have some sort of call to action. It can be like this post, save this post, share it, DM me, comment. Do you have a question? Link in bio. Go, see our availability for next week. Take us up on this special, or expires Sunday. Anything. What is it you want somebody to do from that post? Right? Because that will increase your engagement. And when we increase our engagement, our post gets seen more and gets pushed more out into the feed. And we start to build our following and we get more people engaging. And that's what grows our platform.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll kind of sum up that 3-part caption writing is your hook or your headline, 1 to 3 teaching points in there if you're doing an educational post, and a call to action. And just practice that.
Okay.
Right? In the society, we have a whole training on caption writing. So we got you covered if you want to jump in there. So what's your biggest takeaway from this call today?
I don't know. Everything was like really good, like always. I guess it would be just managing my time more.
Yeah.
So yeah, just managing
Awesome.
my time and finding things to take place of what I'm using that takes away my time. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And also recognize that rest is also work.
Yes.
So you have to schedule that in there too, that is part of your journey and your experience, especially
And
when you have young
that
kids.
is what I struggled with. I would go to sleep late, wake
Mhm.
up, try to wake up early and then be exhausted. And yeah, it was bad. And I remember speaking with a friend and she was just like, we were just talking, I don't know what we were talking about, but I mentioned that, I just been tired. She was like, "Do you get sleep?" And I'm just like,
What's that?
she was like, "Do you take a nap?" She was like, "Do you like ever take a nap throughout the day?" And I was like, "No." And she was just like, "Go get some sleep." And I was just like, You're right. I do need to get some sleep. I do
Yeah.
need some sleep. And I need to rest my body and not just be on edge, because that also takes away, you know, my
Yeah.
creativity. And then
And
I
then
know,
you become short with your kids and, you're exhausted. You're not present in the moment. You're just like
yes,
trying to get them to go to bed. And I mean, we've all been there, sis.
yes. So that's my
So
problem.
the work is in the rest as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Shyrome, both for reaching out on Instagram and for applying on the podcast and coming on and sharing your story. I think the listeners are going to be, yeah, sharing the same takeaways as you. It's like mind blown. So thank you for
Yeah.
being the catalyst in that conversation.
Thank you
Yeah, of course. All right.
for having
We'll
this.
see you guys next time. Have a good one.